Hey, Gary,
Hi, Gary.
this meeting is being live streamed according to this note. So I think we're all here. So we're going to get going. Call the meeting to order. I want to welcome everybody. Before we do roll, I want to say welcome back to Cindy as secretary. I know she's been going through all kinds of health challenges, but she now feels strong enough to deal with my jokes in the minutes. And
Yeah.
so she will be
How
taking,
How about the rest of it? How are we supposed to deal with it? Did that
well,
come out of my mouth or just, I thought it was in my brain. I'm sorry.
there is a vaccine available now. But Lori, I want to again give special thanks to you for filling in and helping us out. You did a great
Yeah.
job, and we're very tolerant of our rambling. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you for that.
I don't know how to do the hard thing, but thank you.
You are most welcome. I apologize. I couldn't fulfill that duty at the last time, but
That's
I'm
okay.
happy
That
to
happens.
pass the pen back over as I told.
Okay, I've got it. It's beautiful. Thank you.
And Cindy, if you would do a roll call for
I
attendance.
would. Ed,
Here.
Kathy, R.
Here.
Brian. Okay. Jeanette,
Here.
Angela,
Here.
Kelsey,
Here.
Beth,
Here.
Gary.
He left again.
He's there. I know he's there. Lori,
Here,
Kathy O'Neill,
Here.
Jenna,
All right.
and me.
And you. And
And
you.
me.
And,
We have
and
a
I assume,
quorum.
I assume Gary will jump back in.
I guess so.
Oh, I'm waiting to see if he does.
Yeah, we have a quorum, Ed.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, as is our tradition, I'm going to open with a quote. And I was thinking about all these issues that are going on about COVID restrictions and trying to get libraries open, but also thinking about banning books and curriculum and basically cutting off access. And I've just finished a wonderful book called Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. And one of the lines in the book is, access is part of the librarian's creed, after all. So when we think of our job and our mission, access to books, access to resources and ideas for all our community and patrons is very important to what we do. So if you get a chance, it's a really good book, Cloud Cuckoo Land, and it's 600 pages, but it goes pretty fast, actually. So, all right, we have an agenda. Everybody should have a copy of it. And are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
All one. The header says that the library board meets monthly on the first Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday.
We don't meet on the first Tuesday anymore.
Oops, oops, oops. That
That's
was
just-
my, yeah, I stole that from an old meeting. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's
just so, yeah, just adjust that.
So we'll change that. That's the introductory note to the agenda. Any other changes? If not, is there a motion to accept the agenda as submitted?
I move.
Moved by
Second.
Cindy, seconded by Kathy R. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Let's go to the minutes of the meeting of January. And did everybody get that little note at the end?
Yes.
Jenna?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right. It's good to know that my humor is critiqued. I appreciate that. Are there any changes to the minutes? If not, a motion to accept them as submitted,
So move.
moved by Beth, seconded by Jeanette. All in favor, say aye.
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 And that is approved. Thank you.
Okay,
Um,
don't talk, just fix it.
We are now at the public comments section. And I don't see any members of the public or hear from any members of the public. It is being live streamed. And of course, as we know, public comments and questions are always welcome and can be directed to Jenna at the front desk or by email or tweet or however form of communication you use. So We will go on then to the aldermanic report, Kathy.
Just a couple things. The only thing that directly or indirectly affects the library is that the city has terminated the former auditing firm. It was continually a struggle trying to get them to get through everything. And so they have been replaced. I can't remember the name of the new one. It didn't mean anything to me, but we have voted in a new firm who says they will be timely. So I hope that bodes well for everything they do. On a more personal note, I want to share that I have a friend who lives in the Central West End who uses the city library when she can. And she also has had issues where she cannot get around the last few weeks. So when I said that we had curb service at our library and how nice it is to be able to go out and have the tailgate or the car window go up and be handed your books, she was speechless. She just had no idea that that sort of thing was happening. The city, of course, isn't doing that at all. So she's impressed. I am too, but I mean, she is newly impressed. So I just wanted to let you know that your reputation is moving through the city.
Very good. Very good.
I have a question. Kathy, is the new auditor going to go back and finish 2019? Or do you know? I just curious. I
I
mean,
thought we had done 2019 and we were fighting over 2020.
yeah, that might be right.
2020 is,
Still behind.
we're still behind.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
And the one you terminated is not the one we just hired. is it?
No, Daniel Jones is off the picture now, so no more Daniel.
All righty. Okay, any questions of Kathy? All right, thank you very much. How about the library director's report? This huge, voluminous report.
It's
Incredible.
colorful.
Go ahead, I like it. Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, this month I feel like it's been a wash. So I feel like every week we have somebody out. So it's been, I'm happy that we're still at curbside just because we haven't had to close, for people to go get tested. So yeah, my thought is that we'll stay that way at least through the end of this week. And then I'm hoping, my hope is that next week we could go back to having people inside again. The numbers are going down.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody at the library's probably had it now. I don't know. It's really hard, it's hard to know like when to jump back in, but I think we'd probably be safe to let people in again.
Well, I appreciate you letting us know what some of the other libraries are doing.
Mhm.
And is the county I'm on a Zoom call now, lady.
What's for dinner?
My wife apologizes.
Oh, that's fine.
Anyway, is the county library, are they just curbside or are they open now?
No, they stayed open. They just went back to I think it was they said they were gonna say you could only be in there for like an hour or something. They went back to, and I think some of the other libraries did that too, but.
Yeah, well, of course, they're a lot bigger space to keep
Right,
people-
for sure. That's,
keep
yeah,
people
and
open.
more staff, so.
Okay, and yeah, we can talk about this more if we want to in our library advocacy report, but that was today. And
I was
I
like.
tried
yeah,
to get on, but you had to register by Sunday or something, and so.
I know, I felt like that was I found out about it at the wrong time, yeah, for that to to be any use to any of us, so, yeah, the only other thing I have is that relationship with the HEC media. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
very
so
cool.
that's it's a way, I guess, the thing that we broadcast, the Lisa Lutz author was put on by the county library, and I'm imagining a lot of those things are hosted by them, and they signed off. They said that they would share that content. So I'm happy to take it. Like,
Very good.
yeah.
That's cool. I think, yeah, let's be sure and publicize that. I think
Mhm.
people will be excited about it. You know, I was talking in the opening quote about books being banned. And I know that some bookstores have displays of banned books.
Mhm.
And I just kind of thought, is that something that library might want to consider having in kind of the advocacy position of supporting free expression, et cetera? Is that something maybe to explore? What do you think?
I know a lot of libraries do that during Banned Books Week, which I think is in the fall. So
Yeah.
I can never remember. I know we've done it in the past, but it's kind of hit or miss. I think our main thing is just to make sure that we have copies of all the books that are currently in question. So like every time a book,
Yeah.
is pulled, we make sure that we have at least one copy. Right now, we were talking about getting another copy of Mouse because
Yeah.
we have one, but nobody in Brentwood has a hold on it. So our copy keeps going out. So
Mm.
we were going to get another copy. We've got Mouse and we've got Mouse 2. I don't know if anybody knew there was a Mouse 2.
I did.
Yeah.
Mr. Teacher.
Very
That
cool.
one threw me because I remember being taught, I think at Whiteout, wasn't it, Jeanette?
Yeah, seventh grade. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mouse 1, Mouse 2. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of, I think what we've been doing. Probably it'd be better to like do like a social media campaign, I think. But I feel like display stuff just doesn't go over as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love those ideas.
I remember, I'm not sure if I told this group this story. When I was in high school, I wanted to read Catcher in the Rye, and my high school library did not have it, Brentwood.
Mm.
And I went to the Brentwood Public Library and was able to get it there. And, you know, it was kind of funny. It really made a point to me about public libraries versus school libraries at that time. And it was interesting. But
Yeah. When I first started working at County Library, they had a minus shelf.
oh, really?
It was where all the books that might be like, they're about, sex, and they were all shelved in the minus shelf, which was like right next to the checkout counter, which is just, they obviously they don't do that anymore, but it's pretty funny.
Well, the bluest eye sure is getting some bad press,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
That's
Yeah,
weird. Yeah, I don't understand that one.
I don't either. It was all over TV last night, so.
My
The
son at Brentwood High had read an adolescent literature. He made a selection, and I didn't know about it. I said, well, what one did you pick? And it was Not All Boys Are Blue, I think is the name of it, about the young Black man who found his sexuality and went through a lot of struggles that way. And of course, it's one of the most banned, and the author, and I want to say Dr. Johnson, maybe. But anyway, he's been interviewed quite a bit during these latest controversies. So access, it's part of our creed, right?
Have we had anybody ask us to ban a book?
Not since Uncle Bobby's wedding, which was
That was when Vicky was
10
here,
years
right?
ago. Yeah, probably like
Yeah.
10 years ago. That was
Okay.
about the
Yeah,
hamsters to get
I
married.
remember the family that asked that specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still patrons. I mean, it was all
Yeah.
very cool. It was all very cordial. It wasn't ugly.
Yeah, I taught their kids. So,
Yeah.
any other questions for Jenna on the report? Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Let's move to old business and the goals subcommittee reports, if appropriate. Regarding the library facilities subcommittee, here's our plan: is that we are going to discuss the status in an executive session for legal contract reasons. And after we discuss, we hope then we will come out into public session again for a decision. So we won't make any report at this time, but we'll bring you up to snuff, those who were not on the committee. How about the safety plan? Anything from that committee at this time?
Oh, we're just rolling and stuff. I'll tell you, we can hardly stop. I think, jump in if you need to, Beth, or you
Okay.
want to. We did a lot of explaining last time, I think, because we had such a changeover in our committee time. That one of the things that we wanted to do was set some priorities, and we did a really good job, I think, of doing that. So not to belabor it, but there two of the things that we wanted to do was to get the police officers over to do some training and to do some work with us. They were there for what, you think, almost 2 hours,
Mhm.
probably, you think, Beth, something like that? And helping us to think of some standard operating procedures to, how do I want to say that just sort of be aware, looking at the whole picture of the library, who's there, what's happening, that kind of thing, and how to take some steps if there's a problem or you think something's suspicious, some suspicious behavior. A lot of examples, following somebody around in the library, a kid, something. Anyway, and then to talk about some of our exit strategies. And some interesting things came up. I don't remember if we said this at the last meeting, but about the evacuation strategies. And a lot of times we think of all of us just picking up and moving out and getting into a safe place outside. But I think Angela's the one that brought this up. And I'm grateful for her doing that, because there are a lot of people who are either they have disabilities, they might be in a wheelchair, they might be able to, just a whole lot of reasons why they can't run out with the rest of us. And so I think we're addressing that somewhat too. And I'm really glad that Angela brought that up. The other thing is that the police have offered to come back, the same training people that were there before, they have offered to come back and do some more training, some like maybe role playing and so forth, and to do a practice run with the panic buttons on the lanyards, and have hopefully everybody will be aware of it, but have a mass panic in the library and see how that works. Because I'm really interested to see it too, because I've never seen somebody doing a panic button like that. Ours were always under the counter that nobody could hear. And so the police would be there all of a sudden with, well, what are you doing here? I think the other one was the fire department. And, we sort of had, I think I mentioned this before, we sort of had a love-hate relationship there for a little while, because they were supposed to do a walkthrough and about a 2-hour assessment of what was going on with the extinguishers and the alarms, et cetera, et cetera. That didn't really happen the way I thought it might, and maybe others thought that too. So we're going to try to plan something again with them, perhaps with the different personnel. And so working on those kinds of things in person. Let's see, and I think probably Beth I'm really happy you mentioned this, is getting our binders together for everybody. So once we have all of our stuff that we need to do, things to be concerned about, like access points, or, the keys are not in the door, or they're in the door, or whatever, having the,
The binders available for everybody to
binders.
access quickly.
Right, the binders and bullet points and all things that are going to make things much more simple to go through. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and hopefully it'll help. So anything you have to say, Beth? Other?
No, we just, we came up with a short list of things that we wanted to kind of tackle first, and Cindy talked about some of those, and then some of those we'll have to work with Jenna on. And so we have a short list and a long list, and then we'll get those all together and make sure everything is good to go.
Yeah.
I know last time we also mentioned about some paramedic training, maybe some
Right.
CPR reminders,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Mhm.
They should be able to help you out on that. So very good. Well,
Okay, that's it.
look forward to receiving
A lot. Thank you.
more information. That's great. How about the employee handbook, Jenna and Laura? You had a chance to do any more at this point, or?
No, I kind of dropped the ball on it this month. I figure we'll catch up next time.
Yeah.
We had our plan of what we were going to tackle, but I'm like, I think in the
Yeah.
last month, we decided to not to.
Well, and we did quite a few sections the last time we met, but
Yeah.
I'd have to look at them again to remember
okay.
which ones we did because some are very minor changes. So we'll definitely have some for next time though.
That's
Yeah.
fine. We appreciate the work you've done already and look forward to more. The Brentwood Community Relations, I know Kelsey, Kathy, and Beth later.
Later.
I have Beth later. Kathy, you would send some information or some communications out, and you want to report on what's going on with that?
Well, we haven't had any official meetings yet, but our first step will be to gather information from the two principals, the library director and the board president, about the status quo and goals for community relations. We see this committee as being supportive of and part of the process for if we were to have the opportunity to build a new library. We feel like the Community Relations Committee would probably be an important factor or work hand in hand with the Facilities Committee. And that's where we are right now. We don't have really anything to report. We'll get back to you after we have some initial information. And if anyone has, as a patron, as a user of the library, if anybody has any suggestions or anything they want the committee to know, please let Kelsey and I know. We would be, and Beth later.
Great.
We'd be happy to have, we want all that information.
And it's kind of sad because Brentwood is losing some of those community groups. I mentioned the chamber is dissolved, and I understand the Optimist Club has dissolved, which the sad part for me is no more barbecues up by Carl's, you know. But also the Legion Post, Golf Mall Post, and I think we're seeing kind of a hard time right now for community action groups. But I think that one thing that your committee will be able to do is maybe try to help strengthen them as much as they help strengthen us. So thank you for your work on
We're
that.
excited.
And the advocacy group that Jenna and I are involved with, we already gave the report on that, and we are going to be getting more information on legislation. I'm sure from this week's activities, we'll get more information on legislation that might affect libraries and other issues in the community and the state. So that's kind of where we'll be at. All right, treasurer's report. Woohoo!
Oh,
We got stuff. We got stuff.
we got stuff. Okay, I apologize. I just sent out a little while ago, January's, but we could talk about that later. So my little email that went with it basically hit the highlights for the end of the year. But first, we've had $530,000 put in our account for taxes for this year.
We always like that.
We always like that. So at the end of the year, we had 1.6 million. I'm just going with that. We collected 96% of what we thought we were supposed to collect. And we only spent 75% of what we had put in our budget. Part of that is of COVID. Things like we never got billed. I don't think we've been billed yet. I haven't seen that bill for the second half of the year for utilities. We put in more in accounting and legal that we used, which is really good thing. More net, the internet access, we got a major discount. Was that CARES Act? Yeah, okay. Furniture, we didn't buy furniture because nobody was there. So without adjusting for all those things, we actually made 250,000, but that's without back going and saying we got, you know, things that they haven't billed us for. So So that's the sort of like the nitty gritty. And on the balance sheet, I put in comments about things that there's like that I can't do anything about because of the audit that's not done yet. So, and more will come out, but basically the big number is always what we have in our bank account. Let's just go with that. So,
We're doing okay.
we're doing okay. We're always supposed to keep 6 months of expenses, correct?
In
Jenna?
the reserve
Yeah.
fund.
In a reserve fund, and so we have more than that. So that's okay. And then as far as January, at the end of January, we had $2 million and change. And again, those same things show up that that are still in the budget. So we just got started, so it's okay. Some of this may change as the auditor, as we work with the auditor to figure out what exactly needs to go in and come out. So when we get taxes, it has to come off receivables. I'm just learning that.
Yeah.
So better. So Jenna, what do you think? Anything?
Yeah. So I am talking to Keith. He has his questions for me. I think last week I really got everything sent to him that he had originally asked for, and now I'm just kind of doing follow-up questions from him. I'm hoping to get that done tomorrow when I go in. And then I think but he's been really gung-ho. I mean, he's been working on it because like every time I come back to my computer, there's another question from Keith.
Oh, this is
So
good.
That's great. That's great. So he's ready. He's on it. I'm hoping, it'll be done by next time we meet. Maybe not. But I mean, he's pretty fast and we're really not that big of an organization. So
Yeah. And Hillary is still a goddess.
yeah, I love
Hillary
it. Just add that every time.
I have to. Hillary is a goddess. We would not be in this shape without Hillary. Wouldn't you say?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. We will get her a hat and a button and
Cherry Coke
no.
is what she needs. That's what she gets.
Not a panic button.
No,
No,
the regular
no.
Cherry
Go
Coke.
through.
Are there any questions of Jeanette or Jenna regarding the financial reports or the audit status? If not, thank you very much. We've made a lot of progress and appreciate all your work on that. So that's great. Let's go to new business. Jenna, you want to bring up, and I know I would also like to just say thanks to Kathy for kind of bringing this issue up in the Board of Aldermen meeting. This is regarding a community center rental fee. So Jenna and Kathy, if you want to chime in too, but you want to explain what the issue is?
Yeah, so my understanding is that the school had requested to not pay for a meeting at the community center. And Kathy said, well, if they're not going to pay, why does the library need to pay? And so, the BOLA said, okay, well, we could look at that. I guess they were going to take it to I can't remember which committee, but Ways and Means, thank you. But I mentioned it to Ed and we thought, well, maybe that's something we should discuss because I mean, right now we get a 50% discount for using rooms over there. And I just didn't want to, since, we've gone through so much work for kind of separating ourselves out. I didn't want to necessarily ask for special favors, you know what I mean? Since they're already giving us a discount. So, but I thought it'd probably be good to discuss.
Yeah. So I guess the question is kind of if we accept it and the city agrees to not charge us, does that jeopardize our autonomy or anything like that? So, and I think the city is considering, am I right, Kathy, not charging us at all for the rooms?
It's in limbo. I don't think anybody's discussing anything. They're kind of waiting to hear what you all want to do, and it's in your ballpark at this point. So,
Okay, well,
What did they decide about the school district?
Oh, they okayed it
Yeah.
unanimously. Everybody was very happy to accommodate the school district.
Was it just for one time or was it for all time?
It was one afternoon and it was the two elementaries combined. I don't think the middle school was part of it. I think it was the elementaries. But they were talking, a sizable group for an extended period of time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Well, Jeanette, you're the money lady. How do you feel about us not paying anything?
Well, of course, that's a good thing, but,
Yeah.
But if it was only a one time for the school district,
Or have they've done it repeatedly.
They've done
haven't
it
they?
before,
Yeah.
but it's not, maybe it's a once a year thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's, we have the money to do it. It's in I take it out of our programming budget. I guess it's not a big hit.
I mean, I don't think getting 50% discount is a bad thing, obviously, but I don't know if I would push it being free. I don't know how often we go up there. I mean, if we can afford it, we're trying it, and Bola will say that we want to be separate. So I'd say take the half off and keep it at that personally, but that's not as a treasurer. That's just me.
I kind of got the feeling that Bola had basically instructed her staff make this happen. Am I right about that? After the board meeting?
Well, to put it on the agenda, and I'm
To
like,
put it on the
well,
agenda
I
for
don't
Ways and
know,
Means.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't know, if that was something we even wanted to pursue. So I thought, well, why make them
Yeah.
work if we don't want to pursue it?
Well, is there a consensus that we are happy with receiving the 50% discount and appreciate the city's generosity? Does everybody
Yeah.
feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads. And Angela's doing a side note.
Yeah.
There we go. So your nodding of your head is kind of going that way. So anyway, I'm looking around and I see a consensus. So why don't we take that back? If you can relay that back to City Hall, Kathy and Jenna, that we're very happy to receive the 50% discount.
But thanks for talking. Thanks for mentioning it, Kathy. I always appreciate it when you.
Yes, we always appreciate your advocacy for us. So, okay. Public comments? Any public comments?
No.
If not, at this time, I would take a motion to move into executive session to discuss a legal contract.
Do you
So
want,
moved.
I leave at that point? Are you going to come back after that or?
We
how-
are going to come
Yeah,
back
come back.
afterwards probably and vote, but if you'd like, we can just send you an email saying this is what we did.
That works for me too.
Okay, good, good. All right, it's been moved by Jeanette, seconded by Gary, that we go into executive session. I believe we have to do a roll call on this vote. Cindy, if you could do a roll
Yeah.
call.
Ed,
Yes,
Kathy, not Kathy O'Neill, Kathy Ryan. I don't know, she just looks like some flowers there. Kathy,
they
Okay.
may be medicinal flowers of some.
Yeah. let's, I know she'll go for it. Beth,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Angela,
Yes.
and